As you can see, I have come back with a new look. Well, possibly this will make it more, well, tolerable for all my viewers and listeners. Getting back to Insight and with the time series. The time series today will continue with rest of the work on Insight. So back to Insight, click on Run Insight, which takes wee bit of time for loading, and we got to be patient, because if we are not, then we can sort of disrupt the loading process. Still loading. Okay, now I can see the window, the main window is right in front of me. It's a good idea to maximize the window to have the whole sort of field of operation, but for the moment I'm not going to do it, because my sort of video capture is not going to capture the whole lot of things. So I will be happy with this size. I will go back to File, Import Data, Open, get some data, and I hope you remember we were playing with one of the time series data on passengers' arrivals. So I'll go to the CSV file, if you can remember, and go Open, I must have done something wrong, so I'll go back to, okay, now, right, yep, perhaps I've done something wrong. Okay, I'll go back to the passenger data. Okay, and there you go. This is the time it worked. So, well, in reality, you might be a little bit come across a little bit frustrating situation. Just bear with it, and most of the time you'll overcome the problems. I want to view the variables. Remember, we were working on the arrivals, so we'll stick to that. Select the arrivals, and then I go for time series. Yep, see, I have selected the variable before going into the time series. Now I have done the right thing. First of all, you've got to go to the advanced time series and then select the variable, and I'll go straight to the time series plot, and that gives me the time series plot. I hope you remember that is the trend line. Red, the black one with the sawtooth, is the raw data. So your trend line is superimposed on the raw data. If you look at the independent variable, which is the horizontal one, is time, and it ranges from year 2000 to 2012. I don't think you'll be able to see the last bit of the time. Now, I haven't done something right. I should have labeled it as number of passengers arriving in New Zealand. See, I have defined the dependent variable clearly. We are talking about the number of passengers, not in thousands, just the number, and the arrival, the destination is New Zealand, right? Okay, we are dealing with the single series. We are still on to the additive model. I'm going to decompose the series now. Decompose means it's a kind of breaking up the series as an analysis tool. As you can see, the moment I tried to decompose it, it has gone into two separate components. I can see seasonal swing now and the residuals. Mark it. This is a very important moment. In fact, we are looking at three distinct kind of features of time series. Three distinct features of time series. Three distinct features of time series: overall trend, seasonal swing, and residuals. So we decomposed the original raw data into three distinct features of time series. Over a period of about 12 years, what is going on? Over a period of a year, what is happening? Is it static? Is it sort of changing over a period of time? Is there any variations? And how the variation is behaving? If you look at the residuals, which are kind of irregular feature of the time series, as you can see, this is more prominent at the beginning up to about 2004, 2005. It's quite prominent, the amplitude, actually the way it deviates from the zero level this is higher sorry, excuse me, compared to the later part, except around 2012, 2010, the things are much more irregular compared to what is going on in 2004 and 2010. Now, that is pretty interesting to note. 2008, the variations were more compared to the middle part. There must be some reason, and we got to do the research with the validity. That means we got to link it to the research material for our final report. It's very important. The contextual connection is highlighted. It's very important for our time series. We cannot simply brag on to say whatever we feel like saying. that is not going to give us substantial sort of backup to get good scores in our assessments. Now that's about decomposition. Once we are going to recompose it, as you can see, this is a slow motion animate, or we can just go straight to the recomposed results. And now it is quite difficult to monitor what is going on. Well, if you minutely look at this graph, if you recall, the black one is the raw data. Now the blue is the trend. But there is a sort of faded green line sort of sitting all around the raw data. It's a kind of displacement from the raw data. That means it's saying something about our model. We'll talk about the model, because model calculation of the model, which is quite mouthful, and we'll talk about it, is roughly giving pretty fair idea about the historical changes of the passenger arrival to New Zealand. It's almost hugging the black raw data line, except look at that bit. That's a bit different. This is way bit different. So that is one of the concern, or one of the interesting thing we can mention. Eventually we'll talk about the robustness of our model, whether the model is perfect, whether the model is workable, or whether the model is total disastrous failure. That's one of the things we are going to conclude later on. Now the next part is seasonal plot. Remember, this is 1 yearly, January, and if you look at these ones, these are on earlier stage and these are the later part. It's telling me something. Look at that, it's going up. But if you look at the seasonal pattern, it is pretty much the same. Look at that, July, there's a peak, there's a peak. Only thing is it has been shifted a little bit higher, and this is the average of all these clutter over here. So if you want to look at the typical pattern, seasonal pattern, this is what you are going to look at. If you want to find out the distinctive feature over a period of time, this is what you look at. These are the month of the year. Right. And finally, the foremost thing for time series is forecast. So we are going to make a forecast. I think you are not viewing the most important part of the time series analysis, which is the prediction, which is the forecast. And this is the most important thing, not for time series, for any kind of study. We want to know about the forecast. We want to make a forecast. We want to know what is going to happen in the future. And this is the numerical values, which in the later part of your written report you got to copy all these into your either Microsoft Word document or Google Docs. I think I'll stop there. We can add quite a few things after this, but once again the video is getting longer, so it'll be a good idea to stop here. It's already 16 minutes, so I'll certainly stop. Thanks for viewing.